Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news all right, folks. Let's dive into this latest buzz that's been swirling around the NFL, especially with how it could impact the 49ers' playoff push and their quest for another Super Bowl appearance. There's a lot to unpack here, so buckle up because what's happening with the New Orleans Saints, Chase Young, and the potential trade talks could be a game-changer not just for them, but for the entire NFC West. And of course, the San Francisco 49ers are right in the middle of this storm, whether they want to be or not. Let's start with the Saints, because the whispers out of New Orleans are loud. The Saints are currently sitting at 2-7, and it's no secret they're in a full-blown rebuild mode. They're facing a situation where they need to make some tough decisions, tanking for a top draft pick, saving cap space, and trying to build something fresh. The word is that they're open to trading Chase Young, the former Defensive Player of the Year, who's been making waves when healthy. The Saints are reportedly willing to send him over in exchange for a third-round pick in the 2026 draft, and they're also saving around $9 million against their cap by moving him now. It's a classic tank move, trying to accumulate assets for the future while focusing on their offense in the present. Now, why would the Saints do this? Well, the NFL odds for them to make the playoffs are pretty long, around +1, 200, and their current pass rush is ranked 24th in the league, with only 6 sacks so far. They're not exactly a defensive powerhouse right now. So part of the logic here is to get younger and more flexible, especially on defense, and chase some draft capital that could help them in the long run. I mean, they're looking at a full rebuild, and trading away a player like Young, who's been a difference maker, signals they're betting on the future. It's a move that reminds some analysts of the 2019 Texans trading Jadeveon Clowney, a bold, riskier play for a team in full rebuild mode. But that's where it gets really interesting for us 49ers fans. Because on the other side of the coin, the 49ers, sitting at 6-3, are watching this unfold with a mix of curiosity and hope. Despite rumors about adding pass rushers before the deadline, San Francisco has been relatively quiet. Yet, with players like Huff nursing a shoulder injury and Williams being questionable with an ankle issue, the need for a disruptive edge rusher has become even more urgent. And that's where Chase Young's name has come up again, a player with the explosiveness and athleticism to give the 49ers pass rush a serious boost. Young, the explosion phenom, has been making noise himself. This season, he's been a force with 5 sacks, 87, 8 PFF grade, and a reputation for being a game-changer when healthy. His career stats include 30 sacks and 160 pressures, and he's proven that he can be a nightmare for quarterbacks, especially on third down where he's converted around 70% of his opportunities into sacks. His athleticism is off the charts, a 9. 0 out of 10, and he's shown the ability to generate pressure consistently, forcing quarterbacks into tough throws and creating turnovers. Now, let's talk injury history briefly because it's relevant. Young suffered a knee tweak in Week 2 and a back injury in Week 5, limiting his impact at times, but when healthy, he's been a difference maker. His stats on third downs, particularly sacks and pressures, are elite, and he's shown the ability to win double teams, which is exactly what the 49ers need to get past offensive lines that sometimes double-team Bosa or try to contain our edge rushers. His quick burst and explosiveness could complement and even elevate the entire defensive front, especially if Huff and Williams are not at 100%. This potential acquisition is being validated by some of the top NFL insiders. Adam Schefter, for instance, has been talking about the buzz surrounding Young's availability, comparing it to the kind of impact a former DPOY could bring. A healthy Young could energize the 49ers pass rush, which has been solid but sometimes inconsistent. Remember, Bosa is having another strong year, but adding someone of Young's caliber could take the pressure off him and create more one-on-one matchups for our defensive stars. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin, the Saints' perspective. They're currently projected to finish around 413, with their betting odds at +20, 0 for a Super Bowl run. It's a long shot, no doubt, but sometimes teams prefer to focus on rebuilding, acquiring draft picks, and developing younger talent. The Saints' defense currently allows about 4.6 yards per rush, which isn't exactly intimidating, and their offensive focus is clearly on building around their young quarterback and improving their offensive line. The idea of trading Young for a third-round pick is part of a broader strategy to stockpile assets, even if it means sacrificing a player with star potential. But for the 49ers, man, this could be a game-changer. San Francisco is sitting pretty at 6'3", but they're facing some adversity on the defensive line. Huff's shoulder injury and Williams' questionable ankle could limit their pass rush options. Young's explosiveness could be just what they need to inject some firepower into their defense, especially against teams like the Rams or the Seahawks, where a dominant pass rush can make all the difference. Imagine a front with Bosa, Young, and maybe even some rotational players stepping up, the kind of push that transforms a good defense into a great one. And let's not forget how this could influence the playoff picture. With Young, the 49ers could have a real shot at elevating their pass rush to elite levels, which in turn would boost their overall defensive efficiency. Their current metrics show a top 10 defense, but adding a player like Young could push that even higher, especially in the postseason where every sack, pressure, and turnover matters more. His ability to rush the passer, combined with his knack for forcing QB hurried throws, could be the difference in tight playoff games. Now, projecting into the future, if the 49ers manage to pull off this trade, it could have serious domino effects on their Super Bowl odds. Right now, they're sitting at around +1-0 to win the Super Bowl, but with a boost in their pass rush and a more dynamic defense, those odds could shorten significantly, potentially to +450 or even better. A player like Young, projected to be a playoff X-factor with an expected 6 sacks in the postseason, could be the piece that puts the 49ers over the top. The NFC is stacked, but this move could give San Francisco the edge they need to make a deep playoff run and challenge the likes of the Eagles or the Cowboys. Of course, there's always risk involved. The Saints might be hesitant to give up Young unless the price is right, and the 49ers will have to weigh cap flexibility. They have around $15 million in cap space that they could allocate, and whether Young can stay healthy through the stretch run. But the potential upside, it's huge. Bringing in a player of Young's caliber, especially when he's still in his prime, could be the spark that ignites the 49ers' championship hopes. And with the team's history of making smart moves, fans can be cautiously optimistic that this could be a win-win situation. As we look ahead to the playoffs, it's clear that every game, every sack, and every strategic move counts. The 49ers are positioned well at 6'3", but adding a dynamic pass rusher like Chase Young could be the final piece of the puzzle. It's the kind of move that can shift momentum, energize the locker room, and give us fans hope for another Super Bowl appearance. The NFC is fierce, but with the right moves, the 49ers have what it takes to rise above and claim that Lombardi once again. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news.